Good morning, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a reading on a cold case of a missing child. Her name is Serenity Dennard. I saw somebody on True Crime do a video of her and I hadn't heard of her and stuff just wasn't sitting right with me, so I decided I wanted to do a reading on her. So just a little recap about her. So Serenity Dennard disappeared in 2019 and she was in South Dakota. She was 9 years old when she went missing. She had parents that were incarcerated, so she wound up with bouncing throughout foster homes, and then wound up with like a foster family for a while. And she had a history of running away. When she disappeared, and this is why this just a lot kind of just didn't sit right. Okay, so she disappeared from a youth home by the name of Black Hills. And by all accounts, from what it seemed like, she did have a history of running away. She was in there, and it was considered like a secured facility for, kids with mental health issues. She was there, and she was being supervised by one of the people there inside of the gym, along with a couple of other kids that were inside the gym. From my understanding, there was two people that were working there, and another child had like run out of the gym into the facility somewhere. So, one of the people working there that day ran after that child, which left Serenity with the other person and the other kids that were in the gym. And it was said that she had ran out the door into the woods, I believe, or down the driveway. I don't know. I've been looking into this, and I think kind of like most of it was kind of 50-50. So this child was literally failed at every turn possible. It's very, there's like a lot of questions, more questions than answers. There was a search that was done on her, and it was said that the reason she was having, the wantings of running away and these emotional outbursts and her mental health was because she was taken away from her parents. So this locked facility is in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of like the boonies, basically. The woods were searched over there. The search was put to a halt due to weather, and then they resumed. And the two workers that were working there that day did lose their jobs, and it's still considered an open investigation. Okay, and they brought in multiple agencies to help look for her. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find. The foster family together originally, the foster family, the parents were together initially, but then they had gotten divorced. And it sounds like Chad Dennard and his wife, Darcy Gentry, wound up actually adopting Serenity before the divorce, after fostering her for a few months, and that was back in 2014. And at the time, she was living with she was living with her foster father who adopted her and his new wife. She was not living with the foster mother. They had shared custody, but at that moment in time, she was not with them. They said that Serenity was super smart, outgoing, brought joy and light to those around her. She did battle emotional problems caused by uncertainty and abandonment during her childhood, which would stem back from her parents, and then she bounced around foster care systems for a really long time. Serenity loved animals, babies, watching movies, singing along to music, riding her bike, and spending time with her grandmother. Chad Dennard was the one who said that Serenity did have a history of running away from home several times, and that she enjoyed when people were searching for her. Like, she thought it was a game. She got a kick out of it, like, them not, like a huge game of hide and seek, basically. You know what I mean? And he feels that the theory that Serenity did get out and heard them looking for her, so she, ran and hid more and probably got turned around and lost and couldn't find her way back. The theory is that, she was out there, and because of how the temperature was and stuff, that she probably passed away out there from exposure, being out in the cold and stuff. The terrain is pretty vast. There's a lot of places where she could have hid, and it seems like it would be hard to search for her. They did use dogs and all that stuff, but again, because of the weather, they had to put it to a halt for a few days, and then they resumed. And this is coming from the Argus Leader article, and then this is the parents she was with, the foster parents that adopted her. So, there's a lot of issues. It seems like a discrepancy of when the facility staff decided to call law enforcement, how long it actually took. So, that's an issue in itself, that they waited, I believe, over an hour to call. And I don't know, stuff just, it doesn't seem right. But anyways, so that's just a little bit. I don't want to say too much about the case. There really isn't, a lot about it. I mean, she was in a locked facility, allegedly got out on her own and took off, and they, didn't call 911 immediately, and so by that time she could have gotten far away. There was also said that a woman dropping off a child saw Serenity walking down the driveway, I believe, and there's theories that was or wasn't true. I don't know. I've never seen anything that said anything that they saw her on camera or anything like that. There's been multiple sightings of people allegedly seeing Serenity. But again, nothing has proved anything. So it kind of does seem like either there was, from what it looked like, there was two options. Either she wound up walking into the woods trying to play a big game of hide and seek and got lost and succumbed to the elements, or she was possibly walking on that long dirt road and somebody picked her up. And like I said, she was out in the boonies. So, and the fact that, law enforcement wasn't called for so long kind of makes that, I guess, even more of a possibility, because she could have got pretty far away, whether it was down the street or in the woods. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a picture of her. So this is Serenity when she went missing. And this is the updated photo, age progression photo that they have given for her. And there have been no new leads. And let me see one more thing. Okay, so it was February 3rd of 2019 when she went missing in Rapid City, South Dakota. She was 9 years old. She weighed 96 pounds. She was 4 feet 7 inches tall, dark blonde hair, and blue eyes. And like I said, she came from the facility that she was put into. That's where she had ran away from, and she does have a history of running away. So yeah, so I just want to do a reading on her and just see if we could pick up anything, and just to kind of give an idea of, you know what, it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna show it. Multiple search warrants were actually given back then as well. Nothing came up. There was a ton of interviews. So police did what they could with what they had, I feel. And I feel like they really didn't have a lot. Even though if she was considered a runaway, they were treating her as a missing child and got other agencies involved, so that's good. The facility she was at, however, is quite questionable in my opinion. Maybe they were just understaffed from what it sounds like. They had 2 people with maybe 3 or 4 kids, which I know probably doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're dealing with children with mental health issues and, stuff like that, you should probably have more hands on deck. I already did my prayers and my blessings, so I'm also putting blessings out to whoever is watching this, and protection against, anything negative or low vibrational dense energy, and I have my crystals and everything already taken care of, and I Palo Santo, so I'm going to pull an oracle first, and then we'll get into the tarot. I would like a general energy reading on Serenity Dennard. It's a missing child out of South Dakota. Just a general energy reading on Serenity. Ooh, okay. What do we got here? We have courage with the lion. And then that one flipped upside down. Okay. Any other messages from this particular deck for Serenity Dennard, missing 9-year-old out of South Dakota? General energy reading off of Serenity Dennard. Okay, I feel nothing else coming in. Alright, so we did get the courage card. It's right there, that's funny. Alright, so courage is not having the strength to go on, it's going on when you don't have the strength, by Theodore Roosevelt. Comes as a reminder that you possess the courage to overcome obstacles in your life, obstacles and challenges. Okay, so I automatically get this feeling that this is Serenity. This is about her courageousness, her courage, and that's part of why she bolts. She's very brave. And he talks about, being in a situation that feels confusing, hopeless, and discouraging. And spending time looking at the obstacles you've already overcome. So I feel like if she indeed ran, it's because she's done it before, and she was pretty positive she could do it again, and, essentially be okay because she has ran away so many times before. And I hear the words cry for help come out. Not in as like cry for help because somebody is like physically harming her, but a cry for help as in, that was her way of acting out. That was her cry for help. Children tend to act out differently when they go through different things, and I feel like running was her thing. I think that's what her thing was. That was what stuck to her. So the first card I pulled was from the Higher Self Oracle. And now I am going to use Summer's Tarot. And it's so weird because, some people know who Summer Wells is, some people don't. But when I was looking at the area of where Serenity was and how she was like kind of out in the boonies in that home and like the surrounding area, the terrain reminded me of Summer Wells' area around her house, of like the thickness of the terrain, the vastness, how wide it was, a lot of area to cover, and with that also entails a lot of places you can hide, but also a lot of accidents can happen. You can be running and trip over something and hurt your ankle or hit your head or something like that. So it really reminded me of that, and it also reminded me of a couple of other cases where the area around the home itself is just so covered with trees and forest and stuff. So I feel like that does make it a little more complicated because you got to walk through all that stuff, and some of those areas are not really easy to navigate. Second. And that can make searching difficult, especially if you don't have enough people to search because it is such a large area, or people who are experienced in that search, because then they become a liability of getting hurt. So, all right, so I'm gonna knock this one out. I would like a general energy reading on Serenity Dennard. Can I have an energy reading on, sorry, these cards are very large. Can I have an energy reading on Serenity Dennard? May I please have an energy reading on Serenity Dennard? Only beings of light and love. See it popped out here. Okay, so the first card was the Empress, which is abundance, fertility, pregnancy, marriage, and creativity and pleasure. The second card came upside down. It is the Six of Cups, which is pleasure, friendship, meeting, gifts, and romance. So immediately with the Six of Cups, what stood out to me, obviously because it's upside down, was pleasure and friendship. And the reason I say that is because I feel pleasure meant she was actually unhappy, and friendship, opposite, would be no friends. She felt alone, which is what I really do feel like, even just hearing the history of her running and her having issues with abandonment due to her biological parents and also being bounced around in foster care systems. So that makes total sense. Now, the Empress makes sense to me too, because when I was watching Kit's video of her, they talked about how she just really wanted to be by her mom. So I feel like the Empress is representing her mom, and that she just wanted back to her mom. Now, I believe it's the biological mother she wanted to go back to. I don't think it was the foster mother, after she, or I should say after her foster parents got separated. I do feel like it's her regular mom, and I get the sense that she wasn't able to bond with the foster parents, and she just wanted her mommy. I really do. So I believe the Empress is her mom. All right, so I'm going to put those two cards aside. Spirit, can you tell me, was there any, oops, hold on, getting froggy, 1 second. Spirit, was there any foul play in the disappearance of Serenity Dennard? Was there any foul play in the disappearance of Serenity Dennard? Hold on, we got something here. What do we got? Upside down, Three of Wands, success, support, expansion, opportunity, coming and travel. So no travel, going, not coming, no opportunity, no support, no success would be the opposite. I just want to, so this is the card, but it was upside down, like I said. So, Three of Wands. Oh, no, that's the wrong number, sorry. Okay, here we go. Alright, so Wands is about contemplating choices already made and the way forward. Do the right thing for everyone fairly. Now, reverse meaning means delays, obstacles, disorganization. Downsize, declutter, and organize your life. Reflect on your goals. You may need to break your ambitious plans into smaller, more achievable tasks. Baby steps. Remember, you must crawl before you can walk. Start with working on yourself first before looking outwards. I heard the word neglect. Back turned. in here, like, moment of opportunity. I'm going to ask for clarification on this card. Again, it was upside down. So, travel to me would mean going somewhere. The opposite of coming would mean going somewhere. The opposite of support is not having support. You know, the opposite of success is not succeeding. So I feel like the multiple attempts, oh, okay, so this time she succeeded. This time she was able to get really far away because there was such a big time period of when she went missing and when she was actually reported missing. The neglect can be the turn back, and the neglect there could also be the fact that the caregiver that was working that day knew and saw her run, but allowed her to run because they chose to stay with the other children that were remaining in the facility that they weren't supposed to leave. And, you know, that's what was said. Whether or not how true that policy is, I'm not sure, but it was talked about. And then, you know, her coming and going, she left and she succeeded because all the other times she was found one way or another. I do not know how she was found the other times, but she did have a habit of running away and she was always back. So, all right, I'm still going to ask for clarification. So, because I got these upside down, sorry. There we go. Can I have clarification on that last card, please? Was there any foul play in Serenity Dennard's disappearance? Was there any foul play? All right, so I got 2 of Wands, success, plans, security, control, travel, and vision. Well, that's telling. Okay, I think I need to word this differently. Oh, another card came out, sorry. Page of Wands, creative energy, message, passion, education, exciting news. All right, let me see. Was neglect, sorry, I didn't get my question out. Was neglect, what, hold on, I'm trying to word this properly. Foul play. Did Serenity Dennard get taken by someone? Did Serenity Dennard get taken by someone? Was she kidnapped or abducted? Was Serenity Dennard abducted by someone? Was Serenity Dennard abducted by someone? I'm getting a vision of her crouching by a tree with her legs like pressed up against her chest and her arms around and her head down like she's cold. Was Serenity Dennard, sorry. Was Serenity Dennard, I keep jumping, but I can't. Okay, was Serenity Dennard abducted? Was Serenity Dennard abducted? What do we got here? Ending, transformation, release, change, and severance. Death card. Now, I get it. That is a very long road that doesn't have a bunch of traffic. However, if she was on that road long enough, and I don't know how far, like, you know, the closest town or whatever, or how often cars come by, it could have been an opportunistic abduction. I feel like at one point she was sitting by a tree, though. Like, I could see her sitting by a tree with her legs, like, pulled up to her chest, with her head and her arms like this, because she's cold, and I feel cold. And she is outside. She is, like, in a forest area where I see her. And, you know, she's a little 9-year-old, and so she was really hidden by this tree. Like, the trunk of the tree was a lot wider than what she was. Was Serenity Dennard abducted? Was Serenity Dennard abducted? Alright, somebody's upside down. Knight of Pentacles was upside down. So, practical, stable, offering. There was no offering. There's no stability. No focus. No money. But no respect. So I feel like that's a no card. I feel like she wasn't. Was the neglect of staff at that facility on the day Serenity disappeared the reason she disappeared? Was it their neglect in not watching her or chasing after her that she was able to run away? Was it due to neglect by staff that Serenity was able, too many fell out, to run away? Was it neglect by staff that Serenity was able to run away? Wait, that's too, I gotta narrow that down better because she's been in multiple facilities. You know what, hold on, I'm changing my question. Did a woman really see Serenity coming down the driveway the day she disappeared? Did a woman really see Serenity coming down the driveway the day she disappeared? Or, I'm sorry, I spoke wrong. I misspoke. Scratch that. She didn't see her. She was driving down the driveway when she saw Serenity walking into the woods. Sorry. I'm very tired. My brain's not working. Did the woman really see Serenity walk into the woods? Did the woman driving really see Serenity walk into the woods? Hope, healing, spirituality, wish, fulfillment, and success. The star, and it was upside down. Can I have clarity on that card, please? I saw somebody flip up, but I don't know what it was. Oh, there's another flip. Boredom, meditation, disconnect, rejection, offering. Disconnect sticks out to me. I feel like she did, and she thought nothing of it. So, the disconnect was that she did see Serenity going to the woods, but she didn't think too much of it. Like, she didn't put much thought into it. So yeah, that's true. She did see her. Can I have the general energy around Serenity Dennard today? General energy around Serenity Dennard today. The general energy around missing Serenity Dennard today. I have too many cards that are like flipped all wonky. Alright, let me trying to think of how to. I've learned doing this that you have to be like really precise about how you ask things, and that is definitely one of my things that I'm working on, because even though they seem precise to me, the questions, like, they seem pretty, you know, straightforward, they can be interpreted differently. So you want to make sure I'm asking correctly. Our Serenity's, I keep seeing her by that tree. Like, I can't get that. I'm going to have to draw it down somewhere because I cannot get that image out of my head. And I keep hearing the word neglect. Did Serenity succumb to the elements in the woods when she ran away? Did she pass away because of the weather and being lost in the woods? Oh my goodness. Did Serenity Dennard pass away in the woods due to the weather? Did Serenity Dennard pass away in the woods due to the weather? What do we got here? Two of Swords, decisions, waiting, solitude, blocked, balance, and TRUC. Truck? Truth? Truck. But it was upside down. So this is the card. Upside down. So I'm getting mixed messages off of this card. So decisions, I feel like, was due to her decision, she wound up in the woods. She was waiting. She wanted someone to find her. She was waiting. There was solitude because she was by herself. But it says blocked on here, and I feel like even though it's upside down, she was blocked, if that makes sense. So it's like she ran, she hid. She was waiting for them to come find her, but they weren't able to. So she was alone. And she was blocked because, not in the sense that somebody was keeping her, but in the sense that she didn't know how to get out. Like, she had gotten so deep into there that she couldn't figure out how to get back from that when, you know, she decided she wanted to come out and she was cold. So she was waiting. So I don't feel like somebody was, like, physically blocking her from doing it. I feel like she was blocked because she was lost. She couldn't do it. She couldn't figure out. The balance, I feel very dizzy. And I think that is due to the coldness and her being out there. I feel confusion in my head. I could see a panic look on her face. And like she's turning around, you know, looking around her, trying to figure out which way to go. And it's almost like she made the decision to run out there, but with the decision upside down, it feels like it was a regret at some point. That, like, she felt sorry that she ran away, because she really thought they'd be able to find her. So I don't think anybody has her. I think she ran into the woods, and she had every intention of being found. But due to the neglect of the staff, not calling police right away, and not going after her, that left room for her to get further away. So I feel like even if the staff didn't go after her, I feel like if they would even call police right away, the chances of her being found would have been pretty good. And I think that's a very fatal decision that they made. And I'm not judging because I don't know what the circumstances are as far as what was going on in the building, who was there, stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not judging because we don't know. There's a lot of, looks like a lot of covering of their own butts in this case to try and save face because they know they really messed up with her. But yeah, I don't think she was abducted. I do think she saw an opportunity to run out the door, and she did. And staff not going after her for whatever the reasons were, contributed to her not being found in enough time, because also, you know, just the fact that they didn't call police being in right away either, and, you know, there is no, there's nothing that I've personally have found in my opinion, that would indicate that the truth was being told. Um, I do feel like the staff really didn't know the answers that the police needed. Um, and I do feel like this poor child was let down a lot. Um, and I think by them not following her was a really fatal uh, decision or choice, however you want to word it. And again, I don't know the circumstances. I'm not trying to be judgmental or anything like that. I'm just saying she was able to get a lot further because she wasn't chased after. You know what I mean? And because law enforcement wasn't called in enough time. Yeah, so the only other thing I'm going to ask is just one more question, because it's been a couple of years and she hasn't been found. Is Serenity Dennard's remains still in the woods by the facility she was being kept at? Are Serenity's remains in the woods? Movement, travel, news, speed, and swiftness. So I feel like that's a no. I feel like... So I feel like they were there at one time, but because of how long it's been, the weather, animals, stuff like that, that she's not in the same place. All right. One more question. Will Serenity Dennard be found? Will Serenity... Ooh. Strength, power, self-control, control, endure, and willpower. I don't know, I get a no off of that for some reason. Will the remains of Serenity Dennard be found? Will the remains of Serenity Dennard be found? Sorry, son came in. He's on his way to work, so. Will the remains of Serenity Dennard be found? Will the remains of Serenity Dennard be found? I'm not sure about this. So, it's a tower moment. So I want to say yes. But it says disruption, chaos, rebuilding, death, unexpected, and change. And then the one underneath it is the Knight of Cups, upside down. Romance, chivalry, leading with heart, imagination. All right, so I am definitely going to look that up because I just want to, what are match? Cups. That's one. Oh, Knight of Cups. So, all right, here we go. Okay, it says manipulative, unreliable, untrustworthy. If you're feeling unstable, this can make you unreliable, and the people around you can find it hard to connect with you. Be careful not to rush too quickly into a relationship. You risk being love-bombed. Face your problems ahead and stop making excuses for other people, especially partners. If you are struggling, reach out for specialized help and connect with friends and family. So what stands out to me is that the people around you can find it hard to connect with you. So I don't think she will. And I hate saying that because if anybody knows me, that's all I want is for the missing to be found, no matter what that may mean. But I feel like she won't be found due to how long it's been and the area where she is. She got a lot further than they looked. And due to the weather and stuff, everything's been moved around. So no, unfortunately, I don't think she will be found. Which sucks. You know, it's not great. And the Tower Moment card makes sense to me now because it's about disruption and chaos and death, unexpected change. So the disruption and chaos I get is the weather. The elements were literally against them, trying to find her. An unexpected change, it's like I feel like that's the weather as well. I feel like, there was more, like I hear the wind, I see leaves moving, so I see seasons changing. And possibly if they had went out early enough, like I said before, she would have been found. And if the weather wasn't that that bad and the terrain and stuff, maybe they would have at least found her remains. But due to all this time that has passed and just the weather, the climate, it's a forest, you have animals in there. And I'm not saying that animals got to her. That's not what I'm indicating. I think she did succumb to the weather. I think she was really cold and she passed away because of that. You know what I mean? Like, because of the weather. But I think because of the weather and when she decomposed, with the animals around there, that stuff got moved around. She got moved around. So it would literally be like looking for a needle in a haystack. So no, unfortunately, I don't think she will be found, which is sad because I'm a firm believer that in order to be at peace, something needs to be found, even if it's a fragment, a tooth, anything, of them to have a proper burial, or you know what I mean, a proper resting place. So no, and it's very sad and heartbreaking. But yeah, I am done with this reading. Thank you for being here. And again, this is just my opinion only. Sorry, one second. This is just my opinion only. These are not facts. I'm going off of my intuition. This is for entertainment reasons only, which I hate saying because there's nothing entertaining about this at all. But I'm going to close out this reading, and just sending prayers up for Serenity Dennard and all the missing children and all the failed children, because we know there's many, and you would think by now, 2023, this would have changed, but it seems like it's gotten worse almost because of the internet and stuff. But yeah, I don't suspect foul play in her disappearance, and I think it was neglect, and it could have been avoided. I really do. Well, thank you for being here under the circumstances, and please just put prayers up for Serenity Dennard and all the other missing kids. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.